Hey, what's up? I wanted to just go on another rant. Apparently, that's all my channel is going to be, is a bunch of dumb fucking rants. Hopefully, I can start making some actual fucking points. Started really writing down some notes instead of just going on like fucking rants. So, like, it's all about the decisiveness between us, right? That's pretty well where my mindset is at most of the fucking time, which sucks, man. I tell you, it fucking sucks. And I know, like, it's good that we are re-examining these things and we are looking at our deep set of morals and like where we identify. But we've turned to tribalism, and that's no good. And we've stopped listening to each other completely. Like, you hear, I see all over Facebook, like you know, equivalent every Trump voter to a Nazi. You can't. I don't. I don't believe that. I don't. What happens is that just you know the rhetoric that you hear about your opposition politically does not match your moral values at all. But so you wind up siding with the side that you feel represents those the best. And then we only have a two-party system, so people who used to vote libertarian no longer vote libertarian, because what's the goddamn point? You never get your fucking voice heard, so why vote libertarian, right? So they'll just vote Republican, and so you get a whole new spectrum on their side, right? And then you got the same thing with the Democrats. You got people who used to vote strictly, Green Party. Like they didn't agree with the Democratic Party, and even though they're more progressive, left leaning, yada yada yada, voting green doesn't do you any good, because what the fuck's the point? You don't even get on the stage for a debate. It's a two-party fucking debate. It's not the 90s where you have four or five candidates up there from different parties trying to win your vote. It's not like that anymore. So you gotta choose your evil, right? You gotta choose whether I'm gonna be fucking a donkey or I'm gonna be a fucking elephant, and these are your only fucking choices. Don't be mistaken, because you don't have another choice. The other ones are on the fucking ballot because they're legally fucking supposed to do it, but the corporations that are the RNC and the DNC are not going to let that happen. So let's go over something real quick. Like one thing that's really dividing us right now, police, right? So you have the Blue Lives Matter and the Black Lives Matter, and they're just clashing, and they're just and it's because all you're getting out from either side is the radical view, right? So you're looking, you see the protests that happen in all over the country that turned into riots, right? So much of those riots were started by right-wing antagonists. It's been proven. You can look it up. Take a look. They didn't. Did they take advantage of it once it started? You're going to get people that are going to do that, no matter who the fuck you are. Goddamn well your brother's a piece of shit. And as soon as the fucking window's broken, he's going to run in there and he's going to grab whatever the fuck he can. You know it. You know somebody like that, whether it's your brother, your friend, your fucking co-worker. Somebody's going to do that. So you're going to get people that are out there doing that. You get thousands of people in the streets. Some of them are going to be shitty fucking people. You can't base a whole fucking movement on that. But at the same time, that movement doesn't do anything to stop those people, right? So if you've got thousands of people in the street and only a few people are doing bad things, then the rest of those 1,000 people should be stepping up and fucking stopping those people and protecting those businesses and stopping the destruction from happening, right? That's what they should have done right off the bat. Okay, so as things go on, police right off the bat, they didn't wait one fucking day. They didn't wait for it to get violent. They didn't wait for riots to actually come in. They went out there in force, right? In force, and that's the structure. That's not the individual officer who's going out there going, I'm gonna go out here and beat me some protesters. No, they got told by their fucking by their superiors to gear up for fucking war, right? That's not that officer's fault. He has been put in that mindset the same way that the protesters were put in the mindset that the police are your fucking enemy, that every police officer is a bad fucking dude looking to step on your neck until you fucking die, right? And now this whole thing with like, oh, we had fentanyl in the system, yada yada yada. That's a very popular thing for police to do after they have killed somebody. Okay, don't be mistaken. It's these bad cops, is what it is, right? So you get bad cops that that you know essentially become bad precincts, right? Because you got a whole group of guys, they all joined up the force together, they all had, fairly bad intentions when they got in, because they weren't about the law and order, they were about the power and the structure, right? And then as time goes on, politicians continue to just, crack down on laws. They make more laws. The war on drugs is continuing on. There are more police. And because the war on drugs is continuing on, right? You got people out there who see no future, and they want to eat. So they're going to do what makes them money. And what makes them money is going to be illegal activities. And those illegal activities, more often than not, are drug related. And even when you get into robberies and things like that, a lot of times that's drug related. And the war on drugs is creating criminals out of just everybody, right? And so instead of dumping money into the police training to help deal with the mental health issues, so mental health and domestic disputes and just regular crime, burglary, car theft, the muggings, things like that. If they had more training to deal with these kinds of things instead of being trained on how to deal with drug dealers and the weapons that drug dealers are going to carry, so automatically, right, you got people who know that they're criminals out there. They're dealing in lucrative cash and only cash. The best way to gain yourself a whole pocket of money is sell your drugs on this corner, and then before the end of the night, go over to that guy's corner and rob him, right? Take your gun over there, rob him, take his money and the rest of his drugs, and now you've got more drugs and you got more money for tomorrow. He might come back and shoot you tomorrow, but tonight you're going to live fucking good. And then tomorrow morning, you'll fucking, you're back to the hustle. You never know when you're going to get shot. You never know that he's going to come over and fucking rob you before you get the intent to go over and fucking rob him. So, that's the way it goes. So now you have these armed thugs who, they've abandoned the system. They've abandoned the culture. They see... a lot of times in these neighborhoods, like, to do well is to be trying to be white, right? Like, you're going against your culture, right? And that's because for 2 generations now, you've had a serious drug problem ever since the CIA flooded the streets with crack cocaine to fund the war in Venezuela, and then you got fucking the drug pandemic that comes after that with the war on drugs that you heighten up so that way you can seize all the money and whatnot. It's a vicious circle that is what happens when government gets too big, too powerful, right? They spread the propaganda. They get the public on their side for what they want to do. They give shitty titles to fucking great fucking titles to shitty fucking laws, right? And then they get you to vote on it. And they give you things like the Patriot Act. How much did the Patriot Act fuck over America? Right? It completely took your privacy away, took away your Fourth Amendment, has taken away your First Amendment. Don't be mistaken, especially in liberal cities, they're trying to take the First Amendment away from you. It's not going so well for them. They're not doing great on actually passing these laws that are going to restrict your First Amendment. But that's a whole nother fucking rant. So yeah, the war on drug is crap, right? It's no good. It's done nothing. How's it going? How's it going? Are we winning? We've been doing it since the 70s. Are we winning? Have we won that? Is Skid Row free of drugs? Is downtown Portland free of needles being on the street? Is the war on drugs winning? No. Fuck you, it's not winning. Get rid of the war on drugs. I mean, I'm not for legalizing like everything. decriminalizing everything would be fantastic, right? So you decriminalize it, take these people out of the realm of criminal. All of a sudden, you've opened up all kinds of cash, right? Your court systems are down, your jail systems are down. Like, you've opened up all kinds of money. I'm gonna put that in my notes. Fucking for-profit prisons. That's gonna be a whole nother thing, because once you have a prison that's for profit, it is no longer about rehabilitation. It is about maintaining a fucking your prison in the black, right? You don't maintain your prison in the black if you don't have prisoners sitting there. And there's all kinds of documentaries on it. Look it up. Even some small towns that wound up having a privatized prison opened up as a juvenile hall, giving kids horrific sentences because the judges and were in cahoots with the lawmakers who were in cahoots with the corporations that built the private prison. Look it up. It's no bullshit. Not only that, but they're making slave labor. All right. The reason that jobs are shit, that we don't make anything worthwhile, that you can't get a good manufacturing job that pays anything. Even as management, like, management's worth what, like $20 an hour? Do the math out. $20 an hour is less than $40,000 a year, right? So my rent is $1,600 a month. So 16 times 5, fucking. I'm just gonna do some goddamn math right quick. Sorry. So you got 8,400. Oh, never mind. I can't fucking do math today. What the fuck? So, I mean, if you do the math out, I'm in the hole, right? Once you include all my bills, my car payment, my car rent, or my car insurance, my electricity bill, my water bill, my food, gas. Once you get all that into account, I'm not contributing to the economy. I'm not going out and buying goods. I'm not buying things that we could be making here. I'm just not doing it because I don't have the fucking money for it. And luckily my wife owns her own business and she makes pretty good money. TOS, Tia's Organizing Services. If she's willing to travel anywhere, anytime. $65 an hour will organize your house and get your shit on lock. She does a great job motivating me. What she's doing with a lug like me, I haven't a fucking clue, but she's great. And she's super fucking organized. She tries to get me to be organized, and I'm just not that great at it. The only reason she loves me is because I treat her good. Anyway, alright, so fuck the drug war. So defund, right? Defund, demilitarize. I would have liked if the slogan had not have been defund the police, but demilitarize the police. Okay, I am not for tyrannical police officers who get drunk on power and join the force only to have that power, right? And that's the kind of people that you'll get when you start looking at officers as nothing more than power fucking enforcers, right? When you were growing up, you looked at the police and you're like, oh yeah, they're serving the community. Like, I want to be a police officer. I want to go around. I want to help people. I want to help that guy. I want to stand up for the Constitution and people's rights to freedom. Well, now, like, I guarantee you, no matter who the hell you are, unless you have some serious connections, if you're walking in the wrong area, police have every right to stop you, to take away your Fourth Amendment rights, and to search, seize, and detain you, right? And then if you object in any way, if you try to stand up for your own rights outside of the court of law, anything they say is a lawful order, and you are subject to penalization by them for it. So if they come up to you and they go, "What are you doing here? What's your name? Why are you walking around here?" right? And you go, well, that's fucking none of your business, man. Like, I'm walking around. You can't just stop and violate my Fourth Amendment rights because you don't recognize my face in this area, right? Like, you just moved in, or like you're looking at property in the area. You're an investor of some sort, and like you're just doing a walk around, right? Well, now that cop has, he's deemed you suspicious, so he's going to pull you over, and now he's opening an investigation because why are you suspicious? So you're the investigation. The reason that you're walking around is now his investigation, which gives him a lawful right to request your name, ID, yada yada yada. In his eyes, right? Like, if you call a sergeant down, and if he's got a good sergeant, his sergeant's going to be like, no, he doesn't have to identify. He's not committing a crime. If you decide to wait, follow him to his car, you can break a law down a mile stretch of any road because you have a 3-inch fucking thick book of laws on traffic violations that they can enforce. So that's how they get your, once they've initiated a traffic stop, now you are required to identify and things like that, right? And then if he wants to open an investigation into your suspicious activity, that's, he can do that. So he's going to look at who you are, what you, if you have any priors, what your contact with police has been like, do you have any warrants? And with any priors, so all of a sudden, if you come back and you're nobody fucking special, but you got a couple of priors, well, now you're going to match a description of somebody that committed a crime like that they're looking for, and you're suddenly going to match this description. And unless you can afford a good lawyer, you're not going to get off of it. Police departments are sued all the time because of this, all the fucking time because of this. Take a look at it, look it up. It's all public information. You can look it up. You can look at the lawsuits that are taken by them, how much the police have had to pay out, how much the state has had to pay out on behalf of the police, right? So like you got that immunity that they've got, which is absolutely ridiculous, because when you get bad people in, they've been given immunity for the bad actions that they take, right? And like, you can hold the state accountable because they employ them, but that state can then try to open an internal affairs, but that internal affairs resides within that police force, so they're only investigating themselves. Plus you have unions. The union rep is going to be like, well, no, he was acting within his lawful duties, yada yada yada, and it makes it impossible to get rid of a bad cop. So unions, while they used to be super useful, have turned into this tyrannical thing, and it's mainly because of the Teamsters, because the mob took over the Teamsters, and when that happened, it became a power grab at how much can we exploit from the company and from the worker, right? But these unions make it incredibly hard for a bad cop to be reprimanded. So I am not for unions. Marches and riots going on all over the country, right? So there's a very big difference between a small town and a small town police force and a city police force, right? So the precincts in the cities, if you're in a precinct that's just in a shitty fucking neighborhood, it's been impoverished for the last fucking 2-3 generations, nobody there sees any way out. The only way they see to make any kind of fucking money is prostitution, crime, things like this, drugs. Right, so like they see the worst of society at all fucking times, right? That's all they see. That's all they respond to. It's worst of fucking shit, right? Then you got small town cops. How many of them are just doing routine traffic stops all day, or they're responding to dumb calls, or alarm went off somewhere, and you got that local drug addict that they know is an issue. He's running around there inside, and they're gonna lock him up, and then in 6 months they'll fucking do it again. And they aren't an issue. You're never going to get fucking, if you're in the problem areas and like you just moved there and you don't fucking, you don't look right, and you don't look like you're trying to make good in the community, they're going to single you out. It's just the way it is, because they know everybody, right? And they've gotten pretty good at spotting trouble, in their small town. So, you know, protesting there, rioting there, like that's just it's stupid. And you know, BLM or Antifa, whatever the fuck you're scared of, if these the radicals parts of it, if they really go over there into the suburbs or, you know, small towns and shit like that and try to do stuff, it's just stupid. Like, what makes you think that's going to work? They're going to show up, they're going to be overran. Like, take a look at some of the videos of when they do go to a small town, they get overran by the people who support their local police, right? Overran. Like, get the fuck out of my fucking town. You don't fucking belong here. You are not gonna come in here and fucking demonize my police, who I fucking eat lunch with every day, that I fucking see all the time, that I fucking wave to every time I fucking pass him. You're not gonna demonize that guy. That fucking, you know, the teachers are looking at you like, I taught this kid. He was a good fucking kid. He wanted to serve his community, so he became an officer in this nice small town where, you know, fucking he is putting away bad guys, and he is keeping his community safe, and he's doing a proper job. And sometimes, you know, he can have himself a bad day and wind up on the fucking wrong side of shit, but everybody's got that. Don't judge a man by his fucking worst day. Judge him by his fucking by the patterns of his character, right? If that's 1 out of a million, that fucking, you got lippy with him. He's had a hard fucking day. He's had, you know, whatever. You got lippy with him, and now he's getting fucking lippy with you. Maybe a little bit fucking rough when he takes you out of the car, right? And all of a sudden he winds up on social media and fucking demonized and oh, he's a fucking bad cop. But if you look at his history, he's got this great fucking history with the town. He's got a great history with the police force. He's got commendations, not for the most arrests and things like that, but because of duties that he's performed in his community that has gained him recognition. It happens all the time. I've done so much fucking research on this because I got like nothing to do during the day. Right? So the racial bias too. You can't tell me there's a racial bias when you got a lot of these black communities that are being policed by black people. That blows my mind. You know, it's not a racial bias. What it is us versus them bias, right? So indoctrination and militarization, right? They've militarized the police force, so it's become the, you know, the thin blue line, us versus them. We are the only things to protect you against the ravages of evil. So, and you know, if you're only policing a mainly black neighborhood, and you're only going to mainly come across black people. Yeah, and the crime that resides there is, you know, it can be fucking real. It can be scary, and you know, you're targeted. You're probably from that neighborhood, and you wanted to fucking do something about it, so you became an officer, and now you're policing the same people, the people that you knew were fucked up, the guys that you knew were fucked up, the guys who have lost all hope in the society around them, and has you know, adapted to the war zone that is poverty. And it is a war zone, don't be mistaken. You're fucking fighting for your life every goddamn day, and I've seen it, I've been there, I've been part of it. That's why I feel for it so much, and I understand the need for police, but there has to be more. There has to be more. You have to get businesses interested in these areas. You have to get schooling funded properly, right? You can't go by property tax, because all of a sudden you got the worst fucking budget for a school. They got no textbooks. They got no decent teachers. The teachers that they can afford make, you know, $20,000 a year, $25,000 a year. So, you know, you don't get anybody of quality, because anybody who can teach, that can actually teach these kids, they're not going to those schools, not unless they got the hugest fucking heart and the fucking and like, you know, balls of steel, because, you know, you're going into unfriendly territory. Yeah, you gotta you gotta look at this stuff, right? You can't just dump money into the fucking thing. You can't go, oh, we got a homeless problem, so let's just dump money into building bullshit. And you can't do that. It doesn't fucking work. Yeah. Homelessness and the funding of police and things like that. Like, it's demilitarize the police. Do not defund the police. They need their training. They need their money. We need more mental health We need more. We need better paying jobs. We need more. We need more investment from the richest of the communities. Is what we need. We need to invest in America instead of looking at it of these terrible people that are pulling themselves up. You need to be going, how can I use my extensive wealth to help build this country? How can I use my wealth to invest in this country, to invest in the future of this country? If you allow education to go to shit, if you rely on the public schools, you are going to, and rely on the funding that they're currently getting in the quality of schooling that they're getting. If you're not investing in that, the next generation, you're going to have fewer and fewer kids with a fucking head on their shoulders, fewer and fewer kids passing high school, fewer and fewer kids contributing to the economy, fewer and fewer people growing the economy, growing the people, making industry, making innovations, doing good things. If we're not investing in the education and the youth of our country, then, and the people of our country, then it's fucking, you can't give everybody a handout. It doesn't work. You can't give somebody $1,000 and go, here, make your life better. It's not going to fucking work. They're going to spend it all on whatever they've been spending it on. What you got to do is you got to educate. You got to show them a bright future, right? A gangbanger's never going to get out of the gang if he doesn't see that, hey, if I do work hard, I can go somewhere. Hey, if I do study hard, I can go somewhere. If they don't see it, they won't do it, right? You emulate what you see, right? If you don't ever see success, if you don't ever see anybody get out of the hood besides in a casket or in handcuffs, and it's impossible. You're never gonna change their mindset. You're never gonna convince them that they're the masters of their own future. Never going to do it because they don't see it. They don't see a success. So unless they see success, unless they're taught success, unless they see actual change, nothing will change. So here's a call to the richest of us. Invest in your community. Do what you can. I'm not saying go broke. I'm not saying give away all your fucking money. I'm not saying go socialist. I'm saying invest. Invest. If you can open up a small store out there somewhere, if you have the money to be able to invest just in the store, employ it with people around it, do extensive looks into who you can get, what they can do, and the more and more people that we can get doing this, invest in the schools. Even more than that, invest in the schools. Dump money into the schools, and they will invest in their own communities. If you invest in the schools, if you invest, open up private schools out there. Make scholarship programs, right? Like make aptitude tests. Like make incentives that, like, hey, if you get into this private school, like you're gonna go somewhere, right? You're gonna get a lot of black flash. It's not gonna work for like 10 years. It's not gonna work the way you want it to. The way you want it to. It's going to work. It's not going to work the way you want it to. So don't get rid of the program. But in 10 years, you're going to see a huge change, right? You're going to see a huge change in the parents who go, well, shit, fucking this, and she sent her kid to that private school. She made an effort to get the scholarship so that I can get my kid into that private school with them good teachers, with them walls around it that keep the crime out, and have good bus systems that get my kids home safe. And I don't have to worry about all these things. Like, you invest into those kinds of things, that in 10 years, parents are going to flock to it, right? And to the point where a scholarship program just isn't going to work. You're going to have to be like the special fucking kid to get a scholarship program, because it's parents are working hard and trying to invest in getting their kid into that school. They're going to invest in their child. They're going to try to make sure that he gets that grade so that he gets in there, because fucking Abdul over there, he fucking his mom sent him to that goddamn private school. She fucking made him go to that private school, and he got the fuck out, and he took her with her, right? Like, and they didn't go far, right? They got just outside of the hood, and then opened up a store on the inside and started helping the youth out with that, right? Like getting them books, getting them set up. So they started reinvesting in their community, right? And then, you know, after this time elapsed, the positivity goes up, right? You have a pride in your neighborhood. You have a pride in your fucking community. You have a pride in what it is. You have a pride in the police, because they are stopping real crime. They are protecting these businesses. They are protecting these schools. They are protecting these kids who are going to grow up and reinvest in their community and bring America back to the forefront of innovation and prosperity. Okay, you have to invest in the kids. We've gone so far downhill, right? When we decided that we were going to make instead of, you know, universal funding for schools, we went to state taxes or property taxes to fund schools. That's where we completely went wrong. We put an initiative on how well the area does, right? If you live in a super wealthy area and, you know, and you've been investing in your schools are going to be top fucking notch, right? Your school is not going to be as good, or is not going to compete with that hood school, because your school puts it in the fucking dirt any day, right? Because you've invested that huge amount of capital that your area creates, right? But, you know, but at the same time, those small areas also need to be funded. They need to get good teachers. They need to get good programs. They need to get after school programs, get kids off the fucking street, get them motivated, right? You need to start after school programs that not only concentrate on athletics and things, but academics. Academic after school programs are highly beneficial, and they can, you know, and if you have troubles where, you know, these kids are, you know, they get out of school and they go to this nice school, but now they have nothing to do after school. And now they, you know, they got a good bus system that gets them home. But once they're home, what are they going to do, right? Like, you know, other kids in the apartment complex don't go to that school, so they don't do their homework. They're not trying to do that kind of stuff. They're not trying to do homework. They're trying to out eat. You know, they're trying to go out and eat. They're trying to go out and cause some trouble. They're trying to go out and get their adrenaline fix, get their fucking money fix, get their drug fix, whatever. So, I mean, after school programs would help shield these kids from it, right? And then you have like that, and then you can have, you know, special classes that happen after school that are dedicated to the homework. I mean, but it all takes investment, right? We got to invest in our fucking youth. If we don't invest in our youth, we won't get quality people. We don't get quality people, crime goes up. We get crime goes up. We go into a third world fucking situation. We go into a third world situation. America as a republic fails. You want to fucking fail? I don't want to fucking fail. Let's turn this shit around.